Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Chelsea 2, Fulham 0, full-time score from Stamford Bridge. It does of course move us now, I think, 6 points ahead of West Ham and Liverpool, of course, who are below us, and puts us to within 2 points of Leicester City in third place as well. So overall, a massively successful performance and result, and yeah, gets us close to that aim we want to achieve at the end of the season, which is of course top 4. And yeah, just a standard performance once again from Chelsea today. I mean, we did expect it realistically, and I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a nerve-wracking game for me, especially at the start, because, you know, I was actually going into this game thinking maybe we could actually drop points here in a shock result, because Fulham, of course, a team that, you know, probably are relegated now. I think it's fair to say we probably have relegated them, especially with the fact that Brighton took 3 points off Leeds earlier on in the early kick-off. But yeah, I think Fulham are firmly down now. But before the game, they had a lot to play for. They have some very good players as well, and on their day, they can be a very dangerous side for most teams, and they have taken some points off some big teams this year. They've taken 4 points out of a possible 6 from Liverpool, and yeah, they can be a quite decent team at times, Fulham, when they want to be. So overall, it was a bit of a tough task on paper for us, but nevertheless, we finished off the job. Of course, Kai Havertz with a brace once again in his Chelsea career. Once again, a really good performance from Kai Havertz. We are definitely now in recent weeks, especially since Thomas Tuchel has put him into the first team as something of a false nine, you could say. He's definitely shown that there is potential there for a potential player in the future, and I definitely think that next season and going forward is when we'll see the real Kai Havertz. I think we definitely will see a much different Kai Havertz next season. You've definitely seen, as I said, since Thomas Tuchel's come in, that there is a player in there. He's definitely shown his true colours, Kai Havertz, and once again, a man of the match performance from him, in my opinion. The 2 goals, really well taken. The first one, of course, Mason Mount with a really good touch from the long ball over the top, slots it through to Kai Havertz, who of course puts it into the back of the net. And the second one, his German compatriot Timo Werner laying it off to him. A really well worked goal for the second one. They made it look easy, cutting through Fulham's defence like a knife through butter. And yeah, once I think we went 2-0 up, Fulham kind of, you know, gave up a little bit. They showed a little less belief. They just looked flat, and yeah, they just looked like, you know, all the gas was out of their tank, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And after we went 2-0 up, there was no way we were going to, you know, bottle it, because as I said, Fulham lost a bit of belief, and yeah, Chelsea are one of the best teams in the world at this moment in time in holding on to wins like that. So yeah, all positives with a 2-0 win, another clean sheet, and Thomas Tuchel's record of clean sheets and just goals conceded in general, bar that of course freak West Brom result 5-2 at Stamford Bridge. We've been one of the best teams in probably Europe, you know, in defensive record since Thomas Tuchel has come in. I think we've kept a clean sheet in like 90% of the games he's managed so far, which is just absolutely unbelievable. And once again today, we looked solid at the back, didn't really concede many chances, and even when we did, there were actually some decent chances that Edouard Mendy actually did really well to save. So Edouard Mendy actually was really good today, and actually kept us in the game to a certain extent with some of the saves he made, which were really good. But yeah, Christensen, Silva, and of course Kurt Zouma were solid enough at the back, didn't really have much to do. They weren't really tested too much by Fulham, but when we were, you know, we were there to answer the call. So yeah, and going forward as well, I thought it was a really good game from the likes of Kai Havertz, as I mentioned. I thought Mason Mount once again was absolutely brilliant, and when are we going to have a conversation about how good Mason Mount has been? I know it's a conversation. I don't know why I've said that, because it's a conversation that pretty much everybody has been having, you know, especially in recent weeks and months. But Mason Mount, he's such a good player, man. Not only is he such a good player, but he's such a good player on a consistent basis. Every single week, if not 2 times a week, he's absolutely world class for us, and he's definitely on his way to being, you know, mentioned as a world class footballer. He's so good on the ball in terms of his creativity, off the ball movement as well. His work rate, his pressing ability is top notch, and on the ball, as I said, he has an eye for a goal, an eye for an assist. He's really creative, really intelligent with his movement as well in terms of his technique, and of course that, you know, half turn he seems to have trademarked for himself. But yeah, what a talent, what a player Mason Mount is going to be for us. And if anyone still doubts this guy, then I just don't know what to say to you. You're just missing out on some really high stocks at this moment in time in Mason Mount, because that man, definitely our player of the season, and yeah, just an absolutely quality player. I think Timo Werner actually as well was quite unlucky. I think you can just see he's desperate for a goal. You can just see he's desperate to try and put things right with Chelsea fans and fans in general, because he's been memed so much this season, and to be honest, I think it's a little bit unfair, because yes, he hasn't really been delivering the output we would have wanted in terms of goals, but he's still got a lot of assists for us. I think he's won like 5 or 6 penalties, or even more than that this season for us, which is absolutely an incredible record, really. And yeah, he has got a lot of goal contributions for us in general. Off the ball, he runs his socks off. He works harder than most players on the pitch, which I think goes definitely unnoticed by a lot of people. So yeah, Timo Werner, I thought, once again, you can just see that nothing's going from at this moment in time. I do still believe he will be a good signing for Chelsea. I don't by any means think he's a flop, and once again, I think that he was really unlucky today because he put in his shift and yeah, wasn't really rewarded. I think Billy Gilmour once again in midfield as well, really good to see him get a run out. And of course, we saw Thomas Tuchel at the development match actually during the week, which is a massive positive, because, you know, for all these Chelsea fans who have been a bit sceptical about Thomas Tuchel and, you know, bringing through the youth, I think that's definitely a myth that has been dispelled. I know obviously it's only one game, but for Billy Gilmour to start in this game with such significance as well, because we're going for top 4, and of course we needed to win to close the ground on Leicester, and of course to, you know, put more ground between us and of course West Ham and Liverpool, who are below us. And Billy Gilmour, once again, as he usually does, puts in a good performance. I think on the ball, once again, he was really good in terms of his passing, his vision. He's so good at knowing when to keep the ball and when to release it, and off the ball as well. He's a tenacious, aggressive midfielder, brilliant in the tackle. What a talent Billy Gilmour is, and once again, a really good performance from him in that midfield duo. And yeah, overall, massive positives. Once again, I thought that in general the game was one that we controlled for the majority of it. I know Fulham had their spells of possession and chances created, etc., but I think for the most part we, you know, dominated to a certain extent. I don't think we really were worried that much by Fulham for the majority of the game. As is usually the case for Chelsea, we dominate a game in terms of possession, and this time, of course, you know, as usual, we do come off with a win because we get enough goals. And to be fair, once we go 2-0 up, or even 1-0 up, you could say, we're confident in our abilities at the back that we're not going to concede. And yeah, even with a little bit of chances Fulham did create, we were equal to them. Edouard Mendy did exactly what was asked of him for every single chance Fulham did create. And yeah, a perfect performance overall, a perfect result, a massive win over Fulham. We play Real Madrid in midweek now, a huge game, because if we were to get to a Champions League final against, you know, Manchester City or PSG, even though it looks like Man City are going to go through, especially with that Mbappe injury as we all know about, and to an FA Cup final win as well against Leicester, and get top 4, I mean, that is some serious tournament from what Thomas Tuchel had to inherit really on the 27th of January, I think, when he came in. You know, he's done absolute wonders. I don't think any Chelsea fan really can have any, you know, question marks over him, except for maybe, you know, the entertainment value of the team, because obviously we haven't scored enough goals really in most of the games. But nevertheless, in terms of results business, he's done absolutely everything spot on, and yeah, definitely positive signs going into next season for Thomas Tuchel and this Chelsea team. So yeah, as I said, Real Madrid during the week, a really tough game, and another tough game as well next Saturday, 5:30 kickoff once again against Man City, who can of course win the league against us that day, if of course United fail to you know, drop points against Liverpool tomorrow. But nevertheless, that's where we're going to end this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, because it means more than you guys could ever imagine if you were to leave a like rating on this video. Also, if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would be hugely appreciated, because as you can see, we are so close now to 1.6k subscribers on this channel. So if you can hit that as soon as we possibly can, that would be massively appreciated by myself. And yeah, that's where we're going to leave this video. So thanks for watching, and see ya.